welcome back to LoloCreates. I hope you're having a great day. I make tons of DIY videos, crafty videos, and bullet journal videos. So if you like that type of video, then please click the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss another video from me again. Today I'm going to show you how to hand letter a quote, a Bible verse, whatever you really want. I don't hand letter and show you the process behind every single font I use, but I do show you how I'm doing it, and if you want a specific video on a font I do, then please let me know down below. I do want to say that I am self-taught. I did watch a few YouTube videos to get the hang of things, tell me where the up and down strokes were, what techniques you can use, but I didn't exactly take a class in it and have a teacher telling me what to do. I also want to say that you don't have to be really good at hand lettering in order to hand letter a quote. It kind of just takes practice, and I would actually recommend doing it even if you don't think you're that great right now, because the more you practice, the more you learn. And without further ado, let's get started. So first off, you have to pick a quote, and it can come from anywhere. It can come from Pinterest, which is where mine is actually from. I normally actually use the Bible. I use Bible verses, but you can use anything from a TV show to something your mom says, whatever you really want to do. My quote says, "When you're drowning in life's worries, remember your lifeguard walks on water." So I'm just going to write that on a piece of paper. It doesn't really matter. It could be a scratch sheet of paper, and it's just to help you organize everything. And then it's time to rank the words. And what do I mean by rank the words? Well, I mean pick the word that you want to be most prominent on the page and give it a 1, and that means bold, and least bold is the higher numbers. So in my case, I wanted lifeguard to stick out because I felt like that needed to be the most prominent. And then I also wanted life's worries to be up there and remember. But I didn't necessarily need all of them to be the same thickness. It's all up to sizing and thickness working together in one. And you'll see as I decide what fonts to use, I actually have to put a lot of thought into what fonts go good together and what sizes would be best for the words. A little tip is the little words like in or on or an or a. You might want to make those the smallest words, but it's all up to you, whatever you want. So then it's time to choose your fonts. So my go-to font for something to be bold is brush calligraphy, and I wanted to do that for lifeguard. And then life's worries and remember, I actually did different fonts even though they're the same line. Life's worries is kind of like the cutout with the cursive, and then remember just has a thick left side. And then drowning and walks on water are a little bit different. Drowning is more drawn out than walks on water. And then I have short and stubby and normal, and I'll show you what those look like in a minute. Now it's time to choose your font sizes. So as I mentioned before, I ranked them. So 1 is going to be the biggest. It's 3.5 inches, and as you can see, number 2, I have different font sizes for the different words and so on. So now you can measure and draw out your lines. I'm just taking the measurements that I had already and making lines down the page, and then you'll want to mark the center. You can mark this with a pencil, but I find it easiest to fold it in half. It's just personal preference. Now you need to center your words. For example, LoloCreates would have 8 characters, including the space, so between the C and the R would be the center. If you have an apostrophe, you can include that, but it's kind of smaller, so just take that into account, but don't necessarily count it in as a full letter. And I noticed with W's, they take a little bit more space, probably because there's more than one little hump. And just center your words, start from the inside out, on both sides, as you can see me doing here. And it's a pretty simple process, but it does take a while to try to get it spaced evenly in the way you want it. As you can see here, I thought they were a little bit tall, so I actually erased the top and then redid the top. With drowning, it was a little difficult to get it drawn out across the whole page, but I ended up doing it. It just took me a few tries, and remember, this is sped up, so you don't have to be going as fast as me if you're trying to do one of the same fonts that I do. For this Life's Worries, it's a little technique that I've seen a lot of people do. Not as often anymore as I used to, but it's where you write everything in all caps, and then you actually erase out the center, and you write in cursive. This is the easiest method to do it in, but when you're writing in pen, you can't necessarily erase out the center, so that's why it's good to have the tracing sheet or transfer sheet, whatever you want to do. This is when I write in the cursive on the inside. Part of the reason why I said that it was a little easier to fold is because right here I'm folding next to your, and then I'm folding from where I folded it to the other side, basically folding it in half twice, a little less than half on the first one. But this will help me space out Remember, because I want it to be centered from the other side. Remember has a thick downstroke on the left side, so I wanted to show that by just putting two little lines on the left, and then I'll remember, get it, remember, to thicken it down. Now I'm starting on Lifeguard. It actually took me quite a few times. As you can see, this isn't even the amount of times it took me to get it down. It was just not cooperating, and I do like the way it turns out, but I wish it was down just a little bit lower because it's kind of touching Remember, but it's okay, it doesn't really matter. So just keep that in mind. You might want to do an extra line if you were doing something like this, just to say that I have a space in between here. And then I'm doing Walks on Water, and even though it's cursive, I tried to do the center first. It is a little difficult, but you can always go back in if you have to write it from left to right to get it right. And now you can actually trace it onto your final paper. So I used a tracing board. Another thing you can use is a window to bring in the light. You can also use tracing paper, or if your paper is thin enough that you can actually see through it underneath what you wrote underneath, or you can go over what you have underneath in a Sharpie or something and it'll show through the paper on top. That's perfect. I'm using a Tombow dual brush pen. I'm sure you've heard everyone uses these, but there's a bullet tip and a brush marker end. And this makes it super simple because every word will be in the same color, but I'll be able to use the thick side and the thin side. Here for Remember, I actually just colored in the left side, but you can use the brush end. You just have to be a little careful if you were doing this with the same quote or a different quote, that your brush tip doesn't become too thick. But if the word was a little bit bigger itself, it might look good. I just didn't want my letter to be that thick on the left. And then here is the brush lettering part. So if you just want to know the basic technique, the downstrokes are thick and the upstrokes are thin. And now Walks on Water is the last little part. And we're done. So here is the finished product. I hope all of yours look great. You can send them to me on Instagram or Twitter if you would like. And please go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Put my notifications on and you'll never miss another video from me if you do. Go check out my other videos. I have bullet journal videos and I have another hand lettering video. It's kind of outdated, so let me know if you want to redo that. I will see you guys next time. Bye! Have a great day.